We've been watching these Warcraft 3 series by Giant Grant Games, where he's trying to beat the Warcraft campaigns on hard difficulty without ever losing a unit. And we watched the human campaign and also the undead campaign, and now it's time for the orc.
Hellscream, claim your destiny.
Hello,
You will all be conquerors.
no, but we will.
You don't need any of that stuff, Grom. Stick with me, and you don't need the blood of demons to be a conqueror.
Holy shit. Oh, he
Hello,
did. Oh, Grant, you didn't let him say the thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Giant Grant Games, and by now, I think you know why we're
Unbelievable.
here. Here's a quick refresher on the rules to the run, and before we started, I wanted to thank my patrons. They're the ones that make these videos possible.
We will never
Extending
be
a
slaves.
special thanks to Paint My Eye and Eeyore Lover. Alright, let's jump into this. Warcraft 3 really likes starting off with no build missions.
Yep.
Landfall is pretty simple. Find my stranded allies, meet Cairne Bloodhoof, and defend against a centaur attack.
I feel like the no-build missions might be the easiest for
Have
this
a problem
challenge.
that the other factions don't. They lack any sort of hero-based healing. Arthas
I don't
was
really find them
incredible
cute,
at keeping
Savary,
his buddies
personally.
patched up during his campaigns. Thrall, on the other hand, has a high damage chain lightning, but nothing for army durability. In
If he
this
wants to be really crazy about this, he could just run in and chain lightning, run out and run in, but it would take forever, right? So yeah.
Problem is alleviated by healing wards dropping off of these murlocs. This brought me a problem. Wards and goblin landmines straddle the line between what a unit is and what an item is.
Ooh, these
While some
mobs.
items summon things that are obviously units, wards are uncontrollable by any means, and are effectively a totem pole in the ground with a timed duration.
Oh.
While contemplating if sticks deserve rights, I find this Tauren. As soon as I pass an invisible trigger, this crippled cowboy gets crushed by cutthroat centaur.
I don't think you can save him.
According to rule number 2,
Oh.
I have to do my best to keep him alive. Luckily, I had an idea that could solve both my problems at once. Healing wards can be placed at a bit of a range. I tried dropping the totem near the Tauren before triggering the event, to see if I could heal him.
What?
To my surprise, he doesn't actually exist until the trigger is crossed. Thinking on my feet, I used the totem's vision to draw out the centaur with Thrall's chain lightning.
Dude.
After slaughtering the centaur, I crossed the trigger, and my bovine brother is safe for another day.
When we
Because I-
watched the undead campaign yesterday, when the final one with Archimonde, where you gotta like defend Archimonde against Dalaran, he came up with some crazy strats for it as well, which was really cool. So I'm excited to see how he'll do like the later missions.
Can save actual people with them, I've made my decision. Totems and landmines are not units.
That's ethical.
Everything else spawned by items are. A bit later, I find some more Tauren in the same circumstance as the first. I burn another totem to pull, and rescue 2 more friends. And then this guy just dies?
What?
What the heck? After rescuing a few more soldiers, there's one final Tauren. I dive the centaur this time, there's no need for
He
any
plays
cheeky play.
Deforged.
Most of-
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I'm bearing with the graphics of the Deforged, but you know, I'm not a big fan personally.
The enemies on the map are pretty simple kills, but once I find Cairne Bloodhoof, things ramp up. The end of the mission is a holdout against 3 waves
Oh
of
yeah, I
centaur.
remember this.
Cairne's forces start off damaged. I have to use my remaining healing wards to patch them up. I burn a scroll of
What's up,
healing
Ashley?
I found on them as well. The final wave in particular is monstrous. I had to burn my rare Scroll of the Beast, a Scroll of Protection, all of my healing wards,
Shit.
and mana potions to keep the enemies down. To my surprise, during the fight, Cairne pulled all of the Tauren that I'd helped save earlier to come help him fight. This made it
that's
feel
nice.
really rewarding to have helped save them.
They're coming like.
The Long March is well named. This is gonna be a slog.
Oh, is this the Kodos must be protected? There's that freaking mission. I remember this mission from playing Kodo Tag back in the day, but I didn't know it was actually from a Warcraft mission.
Thrall's horde must escort Cairne Bloodhoof and his
Yeah.
Kodo beasts to 3 oases on the map. These oases are represented by healing wells.
He explained in one of his videos that he played like this because he wanted to showcase Reforged because it's new and stuff. That's fair. That understandable.
Through the mission, bands of centaur attack the front and the rear. While this is a frustratingly slow escort quest, there is an upside. Cairne and his Tauren are absolute monsters. They're easily as strong as my army. While I'm moving, I don't bother defending the rear at all. After reaching the first
they're strong.
oasis, the caravan stops to heal up all the damaged units. For some reason, Cairne himself doesn't step near the healing well.
Oh.
I can't risk him being at low HP. So once the caravan starts moving again,
He
I
doesn't
block
need
his
healing.
pathing so he gets near the fountain, and then I put him in grunt jail for a bit. This is supposed to be an exploration mission, where my forces can go off the beaten path to find some additional items. The problem is that these items suck for the most part.
Yeah.
The only good item is at the top, defended by a lot of enemies, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I end up doing the bare minimum here. And
I failed this mission because I explored everything and then ended up losing my freaking units.
Means Thrall doesn't have any items, the mission is also smooth sailing.
Okay.
In Cry of the Warsong, I'm introduced to the Blade Master Grom Hellscream.
Oh no, that's the mission where he just goes and attacks random. I remember being very frustrated with this one.
Excuse me, Gromash? That's not his name, and it's not what anybody in the game calls him.
Gromash?
Why is he Gromash now? Fine, Reforged. You do you. Grom Ash and the Warsong clan help Thrall clear up a fairly inconsequential Terran base, and I take it. The goal of the mission is to reach the north of the map, kill the Harpies, and buy 2 Zeppelins to deliver back home. Unfortunately, there are 4 human bases on the map, and they like getting aggressive.
Yep.
My Orc allies also really enjoy attacking. Unfortunately, due to rule number 2,
so he both have to, oh god.
I can't let them be throwing away their units like that. While I build a great hall near the gold mine, I build a great wall at Gromash's base. All of my infrastructure that normally would be at home goes into plugging up the holes in this weird sim city.
Okay.
I have to rush this project. As soon as my great hall finishes, my allies attack a fortified human base and are killed. After finishing off my barricade to save Grom from himself, I start to build up an army.
Okay.
And this is where I realize something really funny is going on. The 4 aggressive enemy bases, they're not attacking. In fact, they never attack. Not even
Wait, so they don't trigger before you move out?
once. My working theory is that the mission works on a series of triggers.
Yeah.
First, my Great Hall finishes. This triggers Grom to attack. Once Grom reaches the blue enemy's base, it activates another trigger, activating all 4 enemy AIs into aggressive mode. Because the raiding party is stuck at home, the Alliance stay defensive forever.
Oh.
This has to exist in order to protect players from being overrun by the enemy before their base even finishes.
Okay, yeah, so you establish the base and then activates Gromash attack. That's actually kind of interesting how that works. You can abuse those.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels really nice to occasionally be rewarded over my insane overcommitment to keeping my allies alive.
Yeah.
Feeling very relaxed, I take my time to build up an army. Frustratingly, there's 0 healing anywhere on this map. I opt to go for mass demolishers because my
You can
peons
repair
can repair them.
Yeah.
I send my fleshy units to have a party in the corner just in case the enemy does have some backup attack trigger. After maxing out, I send my siege army to melt through Blue's admittedly decent defenses, clear up
Holy
all the creeps off
shit,
of
that's
the
a lot
map,
of siege.
and get a couple items for Thrall. And then I reach the Goblin shop. The defenders of the shop are all Harpies, who are flying. I don't actually have much in the way of anti-air, so I opt to build a brick of towers to cheese up the defenders. After grabbing both Zeppelins, I have one last stop.
I actually didn't go to the Zeppelins before the very end of the mission, I remember.
Warsong base and hand off a majority of Thrall's items to the Blade Master. Thrall's never gonna end a mission well equipped, is he?
You could actually give him items. And I guess if you get to play with him later, maybe you get to keep those items?
Spirits of Ashenvale is a really cool mission.
Okay.
Instead of securing an objective or destroying a base,
this is where you gotta kill all, yeah.
to gather lumber. A lot of lumber. 15,000 lumber. Luckily, I get to use professional lumberjack Grom Smash Hellscream.
Yeah.
Frankly, I find it pretty offensive.
You can do the same with Illidan on the Malfurion mission. I didn't know that.
A giant axe and reforged, but he can't chop lumber. Grom is a blade master, a damage-oriented hero who can critically strike to deal insane.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just have to mention this. This is not supposed to be a shitting on a reforged thing, but what the French toast? What is this attack animation?
Hero who can critically strike to deal insane damage.
I actually really hate that. He has like a claw on one hand and then like an... No, that's a weird attack animation, guys.
Who can critically strike to deal insane damage.
I
He
don't
also
like
has a
that.
Windwalk ability that allows him to become invisible and pass through enemies. To help speed things up, there's a bonus quest.
He's
killing
no
a
cool, though.
Furbolg chieftain.
Furbolgs
This
are
gives
cool.
access to Goblin Shredders, who are absolutely unmatched in the lumber game. Utilizing Windwalk, I can bypass the huge defensive force with my hero, and
Dude.
sit myself snugly in this corner, able to 1v1 the chieftain.
So dumb.
With the help of the potion that I passed from Thrall in the previous mission, I was able to barely take down the chieftain. At the same time, my defenses are being attacked by some night elves. They get Grom thrashed. Normally, you're expected
he
to
almost
expand
died.
to a gold mine on this map. I decided I was going to try to win quickly. This is another mission with no healing whatsoever on the map, so War of Attrition sounds horrible.
Honestly, man, it's fucking impressive. When you think about what he's doing, he's literally not losing a single unit ever.
Instead, invest my starting money into Rings of Regeneration from the Goblin Shop. I have to sell off my other items to afford it.
Oh my god, he's just mass buying rings.
Other items to afford it, so I'm pretty strapped for
I love
cash. With 4 rings and Healthstone, Grom is regenerating 9 HP per second.
Yeah.
This means he can take a bulk of the damage during fights, and he's at full HP by the time there's another one. Another bonus objective on the map are enemy trees of life. Each gives 3,000 lumber when killed. The 2 closest trees are poorly defended and die quickly.
Oh.
Once I reach my quota, I kill a few wisps before completing the mission, so I can reach level 6. This unlocks my ultimate ability. Bladestorm is really important because it gives Grom Splash. The Hunter of Shadows is one of those epic moments in Warcraft 3, and this time, Blizzard forgot to reforge it. It turns out clear-cutting an entire forest is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
The demigod Cenarius is pissed, and he wants revenge. Large attack waves strike 3 of my 4 bases.
Oh yeah, that's the one. You lose all the bases, and you go up, and then you drink the blood, right? And you become, like, just unstoppable. Like, all your orcs become fill orcs.
The bases only have a handful of peons in them. They're easily retreated. These attack waves will converge on my base across the river soon enough. I start mass-producing towers to deal with them. I start off with 15,000 lumber from the last mission. The only resource I have to think about is gold. The objective of the mission is to kill Cenarius, a literal forest deity, and the strongest enemy that Warcraft 3 ever expects you to fight.
Dude, he's killing the freaking towers before they even... That's actually really smart, because the buildings have a very, very, very little armor whenever you start doing them.
Cenarius is a nightmare, able to easily kill units in 2 hits from an absurd range, as well as rooting enemies so they cannot escape his wrath. But most importantly, he's defended by the Divine Armor type.
Yeah.
All damage taken is reduced by 95% if it isn't chaos damage.
So you gotta get to the chaos damage.
6,000 HP, almost 10 times that of the average hero. And he has a huge HP regeneration rate. Hit and run tactics are impossible.
You have to go get the chaos damage, because you also need it for the next missions regardless, right?
Divine Armor can be overcome by chaos damage, which ignores it. In order to empower my forces in this desperate situation, the only choice is to drink from the well corrupted by the demon Manroth's blood, trading our souls for unbelievable power. This is one of these decisions that defines the career of a warrior. And there's no way that I'm letting Grom's legacy be stained with demon blood. We don't need Manroth's blood to kill Cenarius.
He's not gonna do it?
Let's get building. I slowly clear out the bottom of the map with Grom.
Well, he's gonna full on to skip it. What the?
Hitting the Tree of Life early so that the enemy can't rebuild. This is where I plan my ambush. After building a maxed out army of demolishers, I begin construction of the Great Wall of Watchtowers. After building up what I feel might be enough, I send Grom to pull Cenarius.
Demon-spawned wretches, you will all die.
He literally builds a freaking wall of towers to avoid...
The fight is a grind. Cenarius takes next to no damage.
This is fucking sick though, what?
Demolishers sieging him from slightly outside of his enormous range. Each tower that falls brings me closer to defeat. I found a micro trick. If Cenarius sees a tower being built, he'll ignore everything to target it down. I repeatedly build towers and then cancel them for a refund while his attack is in the air.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's expensive, but I need to buy as much time as possible for my towers to fire. Each fallen tower not only brings my demolishers closer to destruction, but marks a huge loss of damage output as well. I've run out of money. Cenarius isn't even close to dead. My tower count drops further and further. Occasionally, Cenarius blasts my demolisher for massive damage, forcing them to reposition. Grom can't melee for long. Cenarius is too powerful, but he does have Bladestorm. I send Grom into the fray to buy a few precious seconds. I dart Grom in and out, using Hellstone as some final last resort healing. The final tower falls. My line of defense is gone.
Bro! That is so fucking cool,
the demigod has fallen.
What?
Warsong is supreme.
He didn't even go get the freaking demon blood. He changed the course of the story.
Meanwhile,
that's impressive.
Thrall is playing with blimps, where the Windrider's Dare is a drastic decrease in difficulty for killing a literal god, but still has some interesting challenges in its own way. There are 2 human bases at the north of the map. The northeastern base must be destroyed. The kicker is that it's inaccessible by ground. Either goblin zeppelins must be used to transport my army, or wyverns can be used to assault the base. Unfortunately, I don't have any wyverns and I can't build them yet. A group of harpies have kidnapped my wyverns, and that's just rude. This mission has put me in a fairly weird position. I need to defend the human attack waves. I also need to attack the harpies to unlock the wyverns.
Yeah.
However, each unit that I build in order to do these things costs me supply, decreasing the number of wyverns that I can make
and they
before I'm
can't
supply
die.
blocked. I don't want to attack from the ground. The Griffin Riders defending the base deal absurd damage. I need the maneuverability of the wyvern in order to pull back when they're hurt. I opt to defend with a cube of towers. This is normal at this point in orc missions. I don't build a single combat unit.
Just towers.
Instead, I buy tons of mana potions from the nearby goblin shop.
Makes sense.
And spam Thrall's chain lightning ability to slowly whittle down the harpies. It's an expensive process that leaves me with 64 supply worth of wyverns to build.
Okay.
Once I rescue the wyverns, I max out and wait. The blue base is scary overall, but one aspect of it is terrifying. Kelv Sternhammer. This level 9 mountain king loves his storm bolts. They deal ridiculous damage to my wyverns and stun them for a long time. If one unit gets hammered, it's almost guaranteed to die.
So when he dies though, he pushes in with the wyverns.
I wait until Kelv attacks my base. Then I dash my wyverns to counter. I avoid the griffin defenses and fly to the less defended rear of the base. And target down the altar that Kelv is trying to respawn from. After the altar falls, I clear the base of peasants and their castle. They can no longer rebuild or repair.
He makes it look so easy.
The remaining cleanup is pretty easy. Wyverns deal fantastic damage and are very maneuverable so they can stay out of trouble.
Damn. Well freaking played, dude. Holy shit.
The Oracle is one of the easiest no-build missions I've ever played. I have to reach the same spot with the currently split up Thrall and Cairne Bloodhoof. Thrall's forces are fairly robust. Proactive use of Chain Lightning weakens the enemies pretty severely before the fight even begins, and the Healing Ward ability from the Troll Witch Doctor keeps everybody patched up. Most of the enemies are fairly generic skeletons who go down easily. There are a few human footmen that try to ambush, however they're weak to Chain Lightning so they're not a problem either. The final fight for Thrall is a dragon and some harpies, who are fighting each other. After the dragon wins, I finish him off and move on to Cairne's portion. The beginning for Cairne is a bit more suspect. He has no regeneration on his team, only beef. This part drops some pretty important items though. A group of kobolds drop a talisman
you can get some Giga items.
There's a lot of quillboar in this pit. There's a sequence where you can activate some spikes to kill them all.
I'm getting like nostalgic watching this, even though I didn't play with Reforged, and even though I played like very recently Warcraft 3, it is nostalgic just watching it, man.
Instead, he drops a very important item. The Necklace of Spell Immunity.
Why people this remaster graphic, it looks good? You are missing some words in that sentence, but I assume you're saying where people hate on it. Probably it's partially nostalgia, and it's like I preferred the other one. I think it's because a lot of the units looks very washed out. They are very, very highly detailed, and they look really good up close, but when you zoom out and get like an asymmetric POV, which is RTS, and then you have a lot of units, it looks very... It just all blends together and it doesn't look that distinctive. What made a lot of the old units very, very good, I think, in my opinion, for Warcraft 3 was that they were very simple and they were made with an intent of being able to visually distinguish between the different units by having very bold colors in them. So they weren't overly detailed, but they had very distinct colors and they have very distinct like ways that you could like distinguish between them, right? If that makes sense.
This badly.
They didn't keep in mind the units were for RTS when making them, basically. Exactly. Yeah, that's the main point.
The fight. After reaching the fountain,
I can watch in 160p Warcraft 3 video and recognize all the units. I can do the same on 1080p Reforged. Exactly. Yeah.
My Tauren are ready to mosey on over to Thrall. This big robot dude is supposed to be a scary boss, but kiting him over to Thrall means he goes down easily. The most important thing I do on this mission is hand over all of my durability increasing items to Thrall. It took 7 missions, but this green boy is finally geared out.
And now he's blasting. White Wolf says, objectively the Reforged graphics are good, but the problem was that they changed many units so much that you couldn't even recognize them anymore. That as well, yeah. It became like so unrecognizable to what the original units were that it's just like, what the heck am I even like playing now? Okay, the last mission.
By Demons Be Driven is an insane final mission.
Yep.
After murdering a demigod, Grom got arrested.
How will he live the freaking infernal onslaught? Is he gonna rush the base?
I have to break him out of demon jail. Thrall is given the soul gem to save his friend from prison. The problem is that this mission is monstrous. Fell orcs cause chaos damage, ignoring all armor types, meaning that despite it being a mirror match, my units lose in a 1v1 scenario. It's not even close.
Dude, look at the film. They look so weird. I'm sorry, but it's just compared to the original. They look so different.
There are 2 huge Fel Orc bases guarding the 2 paths to the demons.
Okay.
Defending against Fel Orcs is rough, but taking the fight to the Orcs while I have very little in the way of healing is a nightmare.
Okay, so he's
Jaina
speedrunning?
acts as an ally in this mission. Her human base is fairly well guarded, but it needs help against the crushing attack waves as time goes on. In order to fulfill rule number 2, I went with the typical Jaina can't be killed and her town hall can't be destroyed. This can be a bit tricky. If the Fel Orcs connect with Jaina, she melts almost instantly. After the Fel Orcs is a legion of demons and warlocks. The Doom Guards have the powerful cripple ability that drastically reduces my movement speed, and the warlocks have a firebolt spell that deals damage and stuns. This means that the demons will cripple me, stun me, surround me, and execute me. It is hard.
He's straight up just running Thrall up, picking it up, and running him back. And then because he has spell immunity and all these big bulky items, he just... Really? It's so funny because it makes you realize how much you can... I wouldn't use the word cheese. Because it's not cheesing the mission, but it's like... You would think that you would have to like kill the bases and like work your way through, but I guess not.
After 5 or so minutes, Infernals start raining from the sky. They have insane health pools, deal huge area damage, and are immune to magic. They can spawn anywhere, including in my base and during other attacks.
Yeah, it's cheesy, I guess.
This mission is the epitome of hardcore. With all this in mind, there's only one option for victory.
I like how he's explaining how difficult the mission is and like how crazy it is and how the units and all the shit. And the footage we're watching is just him casually running up Thrall, picking up the orb and running him back.
I'm gonna have to create a titanic army of... Oh,
yeah.
We're done? I haven't even built a unit yet. Okay.
That's funny, I like that. This was a good video, man. So the next one he's going to be doing will be the interesting one to watch. We're not going to watch this one today. I think tomorrow we'll watch the next one. But that's the Night Elf campaign, which will be Archimonde. The Archimonde mission in Hyjal. That's going to be cooked, actually. But we'll watch that one tomorrow, chat. Check out Giant Grant Games. Absolute awesome channel, obviously. He makes some cool videos. And I've been enjoying watching these quite a lot lately. So there's that.